can't deny. The red pill paradigm opens up your mind wide. They talk about the cryptids and conspiracies, shadows in the corners where the truth should be, the cult and the spirits in the night sky gleam. Listen to the red pill paradigm and dare to dream. Government's corrupted from the roots to the crown. Lies upon the lies they shove to keep us down. The secret societies, their whispers grow loud. But truth is our weapon, will rise from the shroud. Talk about the cryptids and conspiracies, shadows in the corners where the truth should be, the cult and the spirits in the night sky gleam. Listen to the red pill paradigm and dare to dream. Government's corrupted from the roots to the crown. Lies upon the lies they shove to keep us down. The secret societies, their whispers grow loud. But truth is our weapon, will rise from the shroud. They talk about the cryptids and conspiracies, shadows in the corners where the truth should be, the cult and the spirits in the night sky gleam. Listen to the red pill paradigm and dare to dream. Dare to dream. Subjects we fear, but we need to explore. Hidden truths waiting behind every door. Spirituality calls, the energy's real. Open your mind, let your soul start to feel. They talk about the cryptids and conspiracies, shadows in the corners where the truth should be, the cult and the spirits in the night sky gleam. Listen to the red pill paradigm and dare to dream.
Namaste, and welcome to another episode of Red Pill Paradigm Podcast. Just a quick note, for legal purposes, the thoughts and opinions shared here don't always reflect those of the hosts. This show is meant for entertainment purposes only. Please take what resonates with you and simply leave behind what does not. I truly appreciate your support. Please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and drop a comment. And now, for today's episode. All right, we're live. On the banks of the Estro River in southwest Florida, among the palmettos and hammocks, there once stood a city of dreams. A city built not by chance, but by prophecy. Its founder, Cyrus Teed, who called himself Korishn. And this is not to be confused with the David Koresh's Branch Davidian. He also got that name from Hebrew. But right now we are talking about Cyrus Teed, and this Cyrus Teed got the name because it translated to Cyrus in Hebrew. So, anyway, its founder, Cyrus Teed, who called himself Korishn, believed he was the Messiah of a new age. His followers called themselves the Korishn Unity. And in 1894, they left behind the noise of Chicago and New York to carve out a utopia in the swamps of Florida. What they built was more than a commune. It was a living experiment in religion, science, and society. a vision of a world turned inside out, quite literally, because according to Korishn, the earth itself was hollow. Okay, we're not gonna get into hollow earth, flat earth, round earth, etc. That's not what this episode's about. And also, we're a judgment-free podcast. I really don't care what you think. Personally, I know space is not real. It's definitely not what they tell us. But like I said, today is about Cyrus Teed and his cult. So, now, Cyrus Teed, he was born in 1839 in New York. Fairly well-educated man. He studied medicine, but he also dabbled in alchemy. And he developed a fascination with electricity and the hidden laws of nature. Now, around 1969, something extraordinary happened when Teed was experimenting with electrical current when he was shocked to the point of being unconscious. You know what I mean? He was knocked out. He later claimed that in that moment he experienced a vision of the divine. And not just any divine vision. He said a radiant female deity appeared before him, the mother aspect of God. She revealed to him the secrets of the universe and gave him his mission to bring about a new religious age. So, from that moment on, Teed declared himself Korishn, the Hebrew form of Cyrus, and he began gathering disciples, as any such cult leader would do. At the heart of Korishn's teaching was a radical idea called cellular cosmology. The Earth, he said, was not a globe at all. Humanity lived not on the outside, but on the inside of the sphere. He wrote simply, "The Earth is on a concave sphere. Inside this concave world, the sun, moon, stars, and planets floated at the center, like gloating lanterns in a vast celestial chamber. And what astronomers thought was outer space was actually an illusion, a trick of refraction and perspective." So it'd be much like the flat earth concept, I guess, with the firmament. Everything's inside the firmament. We're stationary, it's spinning around us. But his idea was that we are actually inside of the ball, and I guess everything's based inside the ball. So, and Teed and his followers even conducted many experiments to prove this theory. They built devices called relectors, long, precise measuring instruments, and they set them up along the beaches of Florida. Their surveys, they insisted, confirmed the Earth was on an inward curve. One of Korishnian predictable theories is that the survey was a specific observation and experiment, proving that the earth is formed inward. Okay, and as all good cults must have, the promise of immortality. All right. Korish's gospel was not just about the shape of the world. It was about life in death itself. He taught through purity, being celibate, in obedience to divine law, humans could achieve immortality. Death was not natural. It was the result of sin and corruption. Alright, Korishnians believe that if they lived righteously, their physical bodies could endure forever. Teed himself was expected to rise again after his death in 1908. His followers even kept his body alive for several days, waiting for the resurrection. Of course, it never happened, but faith was not easily shaken. For many years, the Unity clung to the belief that their leader would return. That story sounds familiar. So, what was life like inside this utopian sect? The Korishnians purchased approximately 300 acres along the Estrode River here in Florida in 1894. And they set about building their New Jerusalem. At its peak, the community had a few hundred residents with thousands more followers across the country that would contribute financially. Okay. This community was built a lot by doctors, engineers, scientists, but very pretty educated people. It was not your run-of-the-mill cult that would normally cult leaders would prey on people down on their luck or whatever that are emotionally damaged and corrupt them. This guy actually got his followers that were pretty prominent in society. Okay, the settlement was bustling with activity back in the 1800s. They had built a bakery, they had a blacksmith shop, they had their own sawmill and a cement works plant, and even a hotel. They had their own printing press also that published books and their own newspaper, The Flaming Sword, which spread Korish's message nationwide through this newspaper. Economically, the community was self-sufficient, and spiritually, it was tight-knit. Being celibate was encouraged, sometimes demanded. Sex was seen as a drain on the vital energies needed for immortality. Now, families did live there too, but many members gave up traditional marriage for the sake of the cause. Perhaps the most radical feature of Korish's life was the role of women. The planetary court, a governing body of 7 women, held supreme authority over the commune. This reflected Teed's teaching that God was both male and female, and that women carried divine principle just as much as men. So, a lot of that does not really go along with a lot of cults in general, but public events were part of daily life too. The Koreshians staged pageants, concerts, and lectures. They were known to light up their gardens with electric bulbs. That was kind of like a novel at the time, and put on elaborate community festivals. So imagine in the middle of rural Florida, a cultured communal society with art, music, science, and worship, just surrounded by palm trees and swampland. The cult and the kingdom, but while life inside the Unity may have felt vibrant to outsiders, it looked very different. Critics saw the Koreshians as a cult. Sounds like a cult to me. So yeah, outsiders, saw it as a cult. Critics saw that the Koreshians, were with their charismatic leader claiming to be the Messiah, communal property, strict celibacy, and bizarre pseudoscientific beliefs. So yeah, they were labeled labeled a cult, and to me it sounds like a cult. I wasn't there. I'm just going off notes I was able to find online. So don't quote me on nothing. And in truth, there were problems. Being celibate meant the community couldn't grow naturally through families. They relied on new converts, but the movement struggled to hold them, especially after Teed's failed resurrection after the 1908. That was a big blow to the community. So, yeah. Slowly the dream of New Jerusalem faded. By the 1920s, the group was really dwindling. And by the 60s, only a handful aging members remained. Well, they couldn't breed and have children, so I don't know what they expected to happen. The last Koreshian, Hedwig Michael, deeded the property to the state of Florida in 1961. Today, the site is preserved as the Korishin State Historic Site here in Florida. And visitors can still see the planetary court building, the gardens, and the remains of the utopian settlement. So maybe next time I'm down that way in Florida, I'd like to go check this out. I mean, sounds interesting. Not to join the cult, just to see the campus. I mean, so what do you make of the Korishn Unity? On one hand, it was a failed utopia, an isolated sect, but built on a guy that just claimed too much. But on the other hand, it was a bold experiment in community life. Women in leadership, communal ownership, equal sexes, these ideas were progressive for the 19th century. For sure. And then there's the whole hollow earth theory. As strange as it seems now, it gave the Korishns a sense of special knowledge, a truth hidden from the world that the secret bound them together and gave them the purpose and marked them as the chosen ones. So that they thought they had some esoteric knowledge. In the end, their dream collapsed, but the story still lingers down in the buildings. There's some of the buildings are still in Estro, Florida. In the archives, their writings end in memory of a time when a small group of people truly believed they could live forever inside a hollow earth. So, like I said, I'd like to get down there in Florida one day and check that out in person, see what it's all about. So I'm going to wrap it here, play my outro, and I will check you on the next episode. This episode of Red Pill Paradigm Podcast has stirred something within you. I invite you to share it with others who may also be seeking. Subscribe to stay connected as we continue to explore an alternative paradigm. And leave a comment so your voice becomes part of this unfolding dialogue. Your presence here is no accident, and your support helps keep this circle of discovery alive. Until next time, this is your host, Luke, signing off. Namaste.